um, so I'm at the eye doctor's right now. My husband is in there with my son. But I wanted to jump on live about a situation that I just recently had to go through. I wanted to make a live the other day, but I've been on my other channel, Reactions with the Jacksons. Okay, I've been on my other channel. So, yeah, I wanted to make a quick live about what's going on with my son. I had to call the Department of Education on these people. My son has been going to school, and I do have on clothes, y'all. So, yeah, no. My son is, you know, breastfeeding, as you would say, and I don't put that on camera. Like that, unless I'm doing educational videos or something. But yeah, I had to go to the Department of Education because it was like 3 weeks of school, and I was getting letters saying that my son was already flunking school, and it was only 3 weeks. Okay, we just got to school, so I'm like, I mean, not 3 weeks. Sorry, it's the third semester of school, and it's only okay. We're only in the third semester, and we're already talking about retention. Why? And so I was like, you know what? When my son got off the bus, because I had spoke to the principal prior to this, and my son got off the bus and he was crying. He was, I mean, bawling in tears. And I said, "What's wrong, son?" And he said, "Well, mommy, I'm really trying hard, to manage my ADHD and, to try to do my work and do what I'm supposed to do. And today, uh, the kids in my class, what are you doing? What? What is it? Hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. I need to take all this. Here, 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 here. Here you go. There you go. You on the other side. That's all you have to say. Sorry. All that heavy breathing. Anywho, like I was saying, sorry. So he comes and he says, I'm really trying to do what I'm supposed to do in class, and I'm trying to do what the teacher tell me to do, and I'm trying not to, fall asleep, and I'm really trying to do what I'm supposed to do in school. And all the kids in the class decided to point it to make me the bad guy today. And I'm like, well, what you mean? And he's like, well, they were just blaming things on me, and I didn't do anything. Excuse me. Now we have a problem. Okay? Now we have a problem. So I called the school, and of course, the principal isn't available, as usual. I leave my number. Of course, she doesn't call me back. So I then call Department of Education. I'm like, nope. Mm-mm. Because ever since I first signed him up from school, she said, your son is 10 years old. This is the principal. She said, your son is 10 years old, right? I said, yes. I had him, I should know. She's like, well, he's supposed to be in the 5th grade. You think? She's like, well, he's in the 2nd. And I said, you forgot he first registered for school at this school, and y'all left him back, and then he went to another school and they left him back, and then he went to another school and they left him back. So yeah, y'all failed him 4 times in the state of South Carolina. He went to Georgia. They set him up with his services because they immediately seen a fucking problem. This child is not on his right grade level. he's not doing the right things for his age, um, they immediately saw a problem. So they immediately set him up with the right kind of help that he needed. Pablo, what is it, God? What is that? Here, here. You can't get mad at me. Here. Here. But yeah, they was like, oh, we see where there's a problem, so they set him up with all kind of services and what's called an individual education plan for him. Well, I get to South Carolina, I tell her, well, Georgia's seen a problem. They set him up with an IEP. You would think that she called the previous school and got the records. No, this principal is the type of principal who does not do her job. She does not go and find the records or find out what happened. She just goes on whatever she wants to do. So if the person is in first grade and they've been there since kindergarten, okay, and it's now 10 years later, she's going to put them in kindergarten and keep them at first grade. Keep them in first grade. She's not going to look into anything. She's not going to figure out what's going on. She's not going to test them. She's not going to do any of that because she's told me that specifically. That's not my job. Okay, cool. So I went and I called Department of Education. Since that's not your job to figure out if a child needs certain kind of things in your school, special needs child, okay, because that's called a special needs child, needs certain things, and you're not going to figure it out, all right, now the fly decides to come in here. All right then. No, you're not going to irritate me because I'm going to end up killing you. You better go on. So, you're not going to figure it out. Well, fine. I'm going to call who is going to figure it out. So I call the Department of Education. The Department of Education then says, well, I need to call the school down there. So I called the school. And the school said, well, we going to fax his IEP right over today. So then the school calls me, the special education department in the school. She calls me and she says, oh, well, Ms. Grant says she talked to you. She hasn't spoke to me. She still has not called me back. After I've called the Department of Education, she still has not called me back and told me, hey, I apologize. I was a little busy. I got a little carried away with the new school year. Nothing. Still has not called me back. So, she says, well, Miss Grant says she spoke to you. I said, she has not. She said, well, I'm going to go ahead and call the school that he was previously going to because we still haven't had the records. Well, I haven't checked. She was like, oh, well, did you speak to his pediatrician? Did you do this? I've done all that. I've done all those things, okay? So she was like, okay, well, not to mention, my son, I've set him up for Social Security disability because he has a real issue. When you see a child struggling and has been held back 4 times, that should ring some bells and alarms. I was literally crying because my child was not held back once or twice. He's been held back 4 times. So that means when he gets to his right grade, well, to the 9th or 10th grade, he's already 4 years behind his class. This is not something that just came up. Oh, it just came up. It just happened. No, this is something that has been happening over and over and over and over and over since he was in daycare. And nobody's done anything. I've done the pediatrician. The pediatrician told me she wasn't going to do anything until he turned 12. Because they can grow out of it. Hmm? He's sitting there hitting teachers with brooms at 2 years old. He's biting people at 4 and 5 years old. He's punching kids. He's slapping little girls at 10 years old. He's standing on top of desks. He's running around the school. He's getting suspended from daycare. And y'all talking about, oh, it's just going, he's just going to grow out of it. Georgia Medicaid said they don't cover it. They don't cover mental health evaluations for children. Georgia Medicaid. State funded Medicaid does not cover children's mental health. Okay. But they cover a stadium though. Anyways, I was just like appalled at them just coming after me saying, "Oh well, you didn't go to the pediatrician." Yes, I have. I've been to the pediatrician in South Carolina. I've been to the pediatrician in Georgia. I gave her the name of the pediatrician in South Carolina, in Georgia, who referred my son to a mental health clinic that then told me, no, if I wanted him to have a mental health evaluation, I would have to pay $1,000 out of my pocket so that I can get it. I'm on Medicaid, ma'am. I don't have $1,000 to give you. If I did, I wouldn't be on Medicaid. No type of resources was given. No type of, oh, well, we can do a sliding scale. Nothing was given. They told me that they would have to send a pre-authorization for my pediatrician, which I called him back. They would have to send a pre-authorization from my pediatrician's office to the insurance, and then the insurance gotta then send the approved authorization to the mental health clinic. She said by the time they do all of that, 9 times out of 10 they deny it, so I can just go ahead and pay the $1,000. Anyways, so I called my pediatrician. My pediatrician didn't even call me back. He didn't even call me back. So I gave the lady the name of the pediatrician that referred my son, because he immediately saw the issue, because after sitting in the office with him, he could see him bouncing all over the walls. My son cannot stand still in an environment at all. That's how bad his ADHD is. He cannot stand still at all. In the eye doctor's office today, the lady had to keep reminding him to sit still for when they put the little 2 puffs in your eyes to dilate your eyes. She had to constantly keep telling him, hold still, hold still, hold still, hold still, like 3 or 4 times. My son has had a problem. So, after she, asked me what I was doing, what am I doing? Because they didn't do their jobs. She said, well, I'm going to call the school. They didn't call me back and say, hey, we set up your kid for his IEP that we found in Georgia. They didn't call me back at all. I had to find out for my son. I had to find out for my child that they did their job. Then my daughter says they made an announcement, which my husband was like, isn't that a privacy violation? They made an announcement, according to my child, that one of those days was supposed to be his last day. She said on a field trip. I'm guessing they saying in the 2nd grade. and he's going to fifth grade because they said he's going to a field trip. They said this is his last day in such and such, and he's going to a field trip next month. So I was like, huh? They must say the fifth grade. What's wrong? I don't know what's wrong with me. Hold on. What is it, Peanut? You want that, Tata? What is Tata? You can go sheep. You sheepy. You sheepy? You sheepy? You sheepy, man? What's that? The milk on the side of your face? Ew. You got Tata milk on the side of your face. Hmm? You sheepy. You mad because I'm on live. See? You get angry. Anyway, back to what I was saying, guys. So yeah, so there's like, this is last day, and he's going on a field trip next month. So I guess she meant because she's only, yeah, I gotta work with my daughter. She's only 7, guys. Okay. So she was like, they say he's going on a field trip next month or something. I said, I think they're trying to say he's going to the 5th grade. But I'm like, yeah, like, wouldn't they call me and tell me, like, what they're doing? They don't even call me. And he said he couldn't hear because he was in his music class and the kids wouldn't shut up. Not even the music teacher could hear. And the music teacher, I'm sorry, Peanut. And the music teacher kept telling them to hush because he's trying to hear. He couldn't hear. So, after that, I found out that he had his services set up through him. He said, yeah, they came to him and they were like, we're going to get you some help. We're going to get you some homework help and stuff like that. We understand that you had one in Georgia and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. But it wasn't no thanks to them. It was no thanks to them. They didn't do any fucking thing. I had to call the school. I had to tell them to send the information. Like, ain't y'all supposed to do that? So if I was trying to get my child in 5th grade and he's supposed to be, because he's still in 2nd grade at 10, and I was just like, oh, well, I'm going to say he's in, 5th grade. Then y'all would go and ask for his records because I've done that. I tried to put my daughter in in 1st grade, and they had left her back for no apparent reason whatsoever. They were trying to test her for 2nd grade in Georgia because they was like, she should be in the 2nd grade next year. So they were trying to test her for the 1st grade level, but they said she just went below it, and they couldn't do it unless she was already on the 1st grade level. But she was just below it, they said. And not even on all her subjects, just on one. And they said they couldn't do it. So, but yeah, I was trying to do it. Last year, and they called the school then and found out that, hey, she's still on the kindergarten level, so we're putting her in kindergarten. But y'all wouldn't do it to find out his IEP? But you come to me talking about, I'm going to watch him. He's supposed to be in the 5th grade. I told her to her face. I said, yes, I know this. He needs his IEP. And I done set up everything with Social Security. You know what she told me? Oh, I'm going to get it done. Like I said, 3rd semester later, I'm getting a paper from the school that he's being retained already. Okay. What is the problem? Social Security, by the way, told me it's gonna take them 12 to 18 months to approve him. So yeah, that's how that's going. Like I said, unless your child has visible, you know, autistic traits, they don't really help with mental health for black children. I don't believe it. Or unless your child was born early, like my little brother was, he was born early. He was born at, what was it, 6 months? Yeah, 6 months. And unless that happens and he has tubes and everything and all that good stuff, really tiny, um, they're not they're not gonna give your children any help with mental health. That's how I truly feel, because I done been doing this. I have been doing this. Let me correct myself, because done been doing this don't make sense. I have been doing this since my son was in daycare. My son has bit numerous teachers. My son, like I said, has hit teachers with brooms. This is in daycare. And if I would have stayed in Minnesota, I got him checked out then. If I had stayed in Minnesota, I probably would have him set up for his medication and everything that he needed. But I don't want to put my child on medication. But I don't know, because my son obviously needs it. Because he'll hit someone or he'll do something about it. What is wrong? He is really upset that I'm on live, y'all. It's just because I'm on live. Just look at him. Look. Yes, we are in the truck right now because my husband is fixing my vehicle. My tire is shot. Something about the wheel and the stud is not working. My husband, I think my husband don't know how to change a tire, but shh. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He said something about the stud is broke. I don't know. Anyways, what happened, Peanut? Hmm? Hey, hey, why are we yelling? Why are we yelling? I love you. I love you. Y'all want to see? I love you. What? Oh, why are we hitting? Why are we hitting? Oh, you don't want the people to see you hitting, Bobby. Oh. 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 Okay. But yeah, so I was like, I've been dealing with this for the longest, and nobody's ever did or said anything. And so I'm like, now all of a sudden, y'all want to do something. Y'all want to help. Y'all want to. Oh well, what do you need? What you need me to call? Who do you need me to? Four times. Four times. Like 3 different schools. Browns Ferry is one of them that failed him twice. Now in Georgia, they was like, we're not gonna fail him because to us that's on us. You know, if we couldn't get him what he needed, that's on us to us. But they were like on the verge. They're like, we don't know. We were considering retention. Like they had called me and told me, they're like, we're considering retention, but we're gonna go ahead and pass him because we're gonna. By the time he comes here next year, and I was like, well, I don't know if he's gonna be here next year. He was like, well, if he goes to another school, tell them It's all in the IEP. This is what an IEP is for. Tell them to look at the IEP to be able to gauge where he's supposed to be, so that way we can go ahead and bump him to where he's supposed to be. Because at this rate, he's not going to be able to finish school. Because everybody knows by the time you reach the age, I think it's of 21 or 22, one of them, you have to be placed out of school, or you have to go to an adult school. You cannot continue in a regular high school. And they said at the age he is now, and being that he's 4 grades behind, he's not going to be able to finish school. Because when he gets to high school, he's already behind his class by 4 years. And that, I don't know what happened. Why are you so angry? Anyway, I'm about to get off, y'all. But that, I just wanted to come on here and vent about that because I said I was going to. Sorry, y'all. The bad lighting. Still bad. I don't know. The sun decided to move. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and vent about that. But I'll see y'all in the next one. I'm about to sit here and wait for my son to get out. And he doesn't like to be on camera at all. So I'll see y'all. Bye. Say bye. Now he wants to be quiet.